Hi, this is Emily Goodnight. Today I'm going to be reflecting on the TED Talk, What Will Healthcare Look Like in 2020 by Stephen Klosko for my development of social work and welfare class. So, this TED Talk was released in 2014. Throughout the talk, the speaker refers to his audience as time travelers from different decades and thanks them for traveling to 2020 with him. He updates them on the current healthcare system in 2020 and explains what changes have been made since 2014, while also referring to bands, cars, futuristic technology, football, and all other kinds of things. Um, so some of this referencing was entertaining and to an extent seemed like it kind of helped the audience be engaged. They were laughing throughout the talk. However, I thought it was distracting from his main points that he was trying to make, which is a little disappointing because his points about healthcare are really important and should be taken into consideration and a little bit more and made more serious, I think, than he made it. Um, so some of his predictions, from what I gathered in between all of his jokes and references, they include making healthcare costs lower, measuring doctor performance, measuring patient outcome, changing the way medical schools select students and the way they teach students, medical DNA vending machines, personalized and more holistic care, more collaboration between medical institutions, and Google Glasses or specs that record information. So some of these predictions I think are a little unrealistic, while some are possible for the future, and I kind of see like a positive progression towards some of those predictions. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of those. So the prediction that patients will wear Google Specs to record their care so that they can send it to CEOs of other hospitals to rate doctor and nurse care is unrealistic. I don't think that many patients would do this. I think that a lot of patients would think that this was a breach of privacy and probably wouldn't want their patient care on any kind of recording video, especially I personally wouldn't want to send my medical care off to some CEO from some institution who's going to rate my doctor's care. I think I'd rather just write a review online, or I don't know. I feel like this could be an option maybe in the future, but I don't see a lot of people taking advantage of that option. The prediction that medical schools will start enrolling students based off emotional intelligence or their ability to work with others rather than just based off of their numbers, GPA test scores, all of that, I think is becoming more widespread. So I am interested in pursuing a career in the healthcare field, and I recently, just last week, went to a forum where medical school admission deans came to NC State and they answered questions about what they look for in applicants. So they really emphasize that they don't just look about GPA and test scores and all of that. Those numbers do play a big role. They want to make sure that you know you have the science background that you need to be a doctor. However, they really want recommendations and proof that the applicant is able to work with others. So this is going to provide proof that they're really going to be able to provide patient care and enhance the patient experience. So, yes, it's important for those doctors to have scientific and medical academic background to effectively diagnose and treat patients, but I think that patients will be much more likely to follow care plans given by the doctor and openly talk to the doctor about what symptoms or problems they're having if they are able to connect with them more emotionally. So I do think that this is something that's kind of becoming more widespread, and I think is a really good goal for the healthcare field to make sure that they're hiring doctors and training doctors to be more emotionally intelligent. So, the prediction about measuring doctor performance based on patient experience does happen today. I think you can write reviews on most doctors' offices and doctors on various websites. Since I'm from out of town, not Raleigh, I look online at doctor reviews all the time. Well, like whenever I need to schedule like a dentist appointment or a dermatology appointment, I usually, before requesting a doctor or PA or whatever. I like to look at their reviews online from other patients. So I think that's something that's definitely happening today. Um, Maybe in the future it'll be more of like a system, like every time you leave the doctor's office, they ask you to rate your doctor and your care, which I think would be really beneficial for improving the healthcare field. The speaker also made a prediction that more personalized healthcare, like looking at the mindset, nutrition, exercise, other habits of the patient, would be more popular versus just giving the patient medicine for them to pick up at the pharmacy. This prediction is something I'd really like to see more of, and I don't think it's implemented enough today. I have seen it in some places, so this is really one of the main reasons why I'm really interested in becoming a physical therapist. I shadowed a physical therapist this past summer, and a lot of their focus at their office was holistic care. Physical therapists don't prescribe medicine, and it's a lot. They actually had like nutritionists and dietitians working at their office. They had a counseling center like next door for coping with physical injuries and such. And they talk about so much how exercise is medicine and how there are so many things, so many solutions to a lot of problems that you can have that don't include medicine and pills. Holistic care is also very effective and does not have the harmful effects that the fillers and chemicals inside of pills have. So, something also that I think is wild is that most medical school curriculums, if you look them online, nutrition is not really covered. It's not really taught, and nutrition and all that surrounds it are vital parts of humans, every organism's well-being and being healthy. And our primary caregivers need to be trained in nutrition. So this is something that I hope will become more prevalent in the future that I don't really think is here now. So, medical DNA vending machines was also a prediction for 2020. These are not a thing as far as I know of, but I have read articles before about personalized medicine, which I think could be really effective. It would be personalized based on your genome and your DNA. I think that until we're able to lower costs of healthcare, such personalized and specific care will not be accessible to most people. I think that's really unrealistic until we can lower costs or ensure that it's affordable. So, another prediction was that medical schools and institutions were collaborating more. I think that this is something that happens. I know a lot of undergraduate programs collaborate. Like, I know our biomedical engineering major at NC State, you can actually be enrolled at NC State as well as UNC Chapel Hill at the same time because the program is a partnership between the two schools. So as far as like medical institutions go and research companies, I don't know how much collaboration they do, but I think that with a known common goal between medical schools and research goals, big changes could be made for the healthcare field. As far as curriculum goes and as far as research goes and medical advances. So, next, as far as lowering healthcare costs to make them more affordable, it kind of seems to me like the opposite has happened. I did a little bit of research and um, I read about how the funding for federal payments has actually been decreased for insurers, for healthcare insurers, by the current administration. These federal payments for insurers, it was used to offset discounted health plans for lower income Americans. So now insurers have to charge more for their plans because they're not receiving this extra money, which in turn results in more struggle for Americans to pay their bills and defer citizens away from healthcare, thus decreasing American access to healthcare. So, with less funding available for healthcare, less funding for insurance, healthcare will not be able to positively progress as quickly as it could, and access to healthcare for Americans will decline as paying for insurance will become impossible with these increasing costs or not a feasible priority for many, even if they may like it to be. So, overall, in some ways, I think America is moving towards some of these ambitious predictions made by Mr. Glasgow, but at the same time, I worry that with our current administration, if healthcare keeps getting less funding and less affordable, we will begin to move farther away from these good predictions that were made about healthcare in 2020 in this TED Talk. Thanks for watching.